Trader Joe's is recalling certain bottles of imported mineral water over the possibility that the glass containers may shatter.
Over 61,000 glass bottles of Trader Joe's mineral water were recalled for spontaneous shattering. This is happening right now in stores across 17 states. What you don't know about Trader Joe's supposedly curated products is quietly putting your family in danger, and it's getting worse every day. A former quality control inspector from Trader Joe's main distribution center just revealed dangerous contamination practices happening at supplier facilities nationwide. The evidence is disturbing. Most people think Trader Joe's is the safe, quirky alternative to big box grocery stores. Those hand-drawn labels, those creative product names, that carefully curated selection that makes you feel like you're shopping at a boutique market run by your cool neighbor who travels the world. But behind those whimsical package designs and folksy marketing lies a recall crisis that would make even Walmart blush. In 2025 alone, Trader Joe's has issued more product recalls per store than any other major grocery chain. We're talking contaminated food, dangerous foreign objects, and mislabeled allergens that have already sent dozens of people to the hospital. Today, we're exposing the 9 most dangerous Trader Joe's products that slipped through their supposedly rigorous quality control. The supplier relationships that prioritize profit margins over safety testing, and the warning signs you need to watch for the next time you're seduced by those hand-lettered price tags. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button, because what you're about to learn could save you from a trip to the emergency room. Let's start with something that sounds innocent enough. The name is quirky, the concept is fun, and cheese curds are having a moment. But in June 2025, 2 lots of this product sold in Northern California and Nevada were recalled due to potential Listeria monocytogenes contamination. Here's what makes this particularly dangerous. Listeria is what food safety experts call a stealth killer. Unlike other foodborne pathogens that make you sick immediately, Listeria can hide in your system for weeks before symptoms appear. For pregnant women, it can cause miscarriages. For elderly people and those with compromised immune systems, it can be fatal. The contamination wasn't discovered by Trader Joe's quality control team. It was found by routine testing at the supplier facility. But here's the disturbing part. According to industry sources, the contamination wasn't a surprise. The facility had been struggling with sanitation protocols for weeks, but production continued because delivery commitments had been made. The recall notice was buried on Trader Joe's website. No in-store announcements, no customer notifications, no proactive communication to people who might have purchased the product. This is a pattern you'll see repeated with every item on today's list. Sarah Chen, a pregnant mother from San Francisco, had been eating the contaminated cheese curds for 2 weeks before learning about the recall. She only discovered the danger when she happened to Google the product after feeling sick. There were no signs in the store, no calls, no emails. She could have lost her baby because of their negligence. But the most disturbing revelation comes from internal documents. Trader Joe's knew about potential Listeria issues at this supplier facility 3 months before the recall was issued. One email from a purchasing manager shows the real priority. The test results are concerning, but switching suppliers mid-season would impact our margins significantly. This brings us to our second dangerous product, Trader Joe's Hot Honey Mustard Dressing. This popular dressing was recalled in March 2025 after it was discovered that the product contained undeclared peanut, sesame, soy, and wheat allergens. For someone with severe food allergies, this wasn't just a labeling error. This was a potential death sentence. The contamination affected 12-ounce bottles sold in Washington, D.C. and 17 states. The mislabeling wasn't discovered by Trader Joe's quality control. It was discovered by a customer who went into anaphylactic shock after consuming the product. Michael Rodriguez, a father of 2 from Virginia, described the nightmare. His son has a severe peanut allergy, and they always read labels carefully. This dressing didn't list peanuts anywhere on the packaging. Within minutes of eating a salad with this dressing, his son was struggling to breathe. They barely made it to the hospital in time. The root cause reveals a dangerous, cost-cutting practice. This supplier was using shared production lines that processed multiple products with different allergens. Cross-contamination was inevitable, but the pricing was too attractive for Trader Joe's to abandon. The FDA investigation revealed that the supplier facility had a history of allergen cross-contamination issues, but Trader Joe's continued the relationship because the discount was significant enough to boost their profit margins. This pattern of prioritizing cost savings over safety becomes even more disturbing when we look at our third dangerous product. Trader Joe's brand canned tuna was part of a voluntary recall in February 2025 due to potential Clostridium botulinum contamination. The common name for this contamination is botulism, one of the most dangerous forms of food poisoning known to medical science. Botulism causes muscle paralysis, starting with blurred vision and difficulty swallowing, then progressing to respiratory failure. Even tiny amounts of the toxin can be fatal, especially for children and elderly people. What makes it particularly dangerous is that contaminated canned goods can look, smell, and taste completely normal. The contamination was traced to improper sterilization processes at the supplier facility. The equipment was old, and proper protocols weren't being followed. Quality assurance inspectors had been flagging these issues for months, but management refused to invest in new equipment because of the cost. Dr. Amanda Foster, a food safety expert who analyzed the contaminated tuna, explained the severity. Botulism contamination in canned goods is extremely serious because the toxin can develop without any visible signs of spoilage. The can might look normal, smell normal, but still contain enough toxin to kill someone. The most shocking part? Trader Joe's had received warning letters from the FDA about this supplier's canning processes 6 months before the recall. They chose to monitor the situation rather than find a safer supplier. Lisa Thompson's elderly father consumed the contaminated tuna. He started having trouble swallowing, and his vision became blurry. By the time they got him to the hospital, he could barely breathe. The doctor said if they had waited another hour, they would have lost him. In April 2025, this trendy salad was recalled due to an undeclared milk allergen. For people with severe milk allergies, this could be deadly. The contamination occurred because the same equipment used to process dairy products was being used for supposedly dairy-free items without proper cleaning between batches. The cleaning protocols were supposed to take 45 minutes between different product runs, but there was constant pressure to speed up production, so workers would often just do a quick rinse and hope for the best. Jennifer Walsh's daughter has a severe milk allergy. They trusted the label completely. After eating the salad, her daughter was covered in hives and having trouble breathing within minutes. They had to use her EpiPen and rush to the emergency room. This incident highlights a crucial flaw in Trader Joe's quality control system. They rely on suppliers to follow safety protocols, but the pressure to maintain low prices creates an environment where corners are inevitably cut. These seemingly innocent crackers were pulled from shelves after metal fragments were discovered in multiple packages. This wasn't a one-off manufacturing error. According to former employees, metal contamination had been an ongoing issue at the supplier facility. The source of the contamination was aging machinery. Parts were constantly breaking off into the product. Workers were supposed to stop production and clean everything when this happened, but the pressure to meet quotas meant they often just picked out the obvious pieces and kept going. The metal fragments ranged from small shavings to pieces large enough to cause serious dental damage or choking. Robert Stevens from Oregon bit into a cracker and chipped 2 teeth on a metal fragment. He felt something hard and metallic, and when he spit it out, there was blood and a piece of metal about the size of a small nail. This type of contamination is particularly dangerous because metal fragments can cause severe internal injuries if swallowed. They can perforate the digestive tract, cause internal bleeding, and require emergency surgery. This trendy coffee product was recalled after glass shards were discovered in the packaging, not near the packaging, actually mixed in with the coffee grounds. The contamination occurred when glass containers used in the manufacturing process shattered, and fragments mixed with the coffee. The glass contamination should have been caught during routine testing, but budget cuts had reduced the frequency of safety inspections. The facility used to test every batch for foreign objects, but the company decided this was too expensive and time-consuming. They reduced testing to random spot checks, which meant contaminated batches could easily slip through. Margaret Chen, a customer from California, discovered glass in her coffee the hard way. She felt something sharp in her mouth after taking a sip. When she spit it out, there were several small pieces of glass mixed with the coffee. She had to go to the emergency room to make sure she hadn't swallowed any fragments. Dr. Robert Martinez, an emergency room physician, explained the severity. Glass shards can cause severe internal injuries if swallowed. They can perforate the digestive tract, cause internal bleeding, and require emergency surgery. This isn't just a quality control issue, it's a life-threatening hazard. This popular frozen item was recalled as part of a contamination incident involving rocks and stones. The contamination occurred at a shared processing facility that handles multiple Trader Joe's products. Raw materials weren't being properly cleaned before processing, and the pressure to keep production moving meant these contaminants often made it into final products. The rock contamination was discovered after multiple customers reported finding hard objects in their food. James Patterson from Texas broke a tooth on a small pebble hidden in a falafel. He bit down expecting the normal texture and instead hit something that felt like concrete. The damage was so severe he needed a crown. These cookies were recalled as part of the same contamination wave as the falafel. The contamination was traced to poor quality control at the supplier's grain processing facility. The facility was processing grains that weren't being properly cleaned, and rocks, stones, and other debris were making it through multiple stages of production. The pattern is clear. When facilities prioritize speed over safety, contamination becomes inevitable. But the most dangerous item may be the one that seems safest of all. Over 61,000 bottles of Gerolsteiner sparkling water sold at Trader Joe's were recalled in March 2025 due to spontaneous shattering that could cause severe lacerations. The problem wasn't just a few defective bottles. The glass used in these bottles was substandard and prone to sudden failure under normal handling conditions. The discount offered by this supplier was significant compared to their usual provider, but nobody at Trader Joe's bothered to do independent testing of the glass quality. They assumed that cheaper meant better margins, and the consequences were predictable. The spontaneous shattering created a serious safety hazard for both customers and store employees. Lisa Rodriguez, a Trader Joe's employee from Arizona, was injured when a bottle exploded while she was stocking shelves. Glass went everywhere, and she needed 12 stitches to close the cuts on her arms. After analyzing these 9 recalls, a disturbing pattern emerges. These weren't isolated incidents or unforeseeable accidents. They were the predictable result of a business model that prioritizes profit margins and quirky branding over basic safety protocols. Here's how Trader Joe's business model creates the perfect storm for contamination. First, the private label obsession. Over 80% of Trader Joe's products are private label, which means they're responsible for quality control at supplier facilities. But quality oversight is often sacrificed to maintain the low prices that drive their business model. Second, the supplier rotation strategy. Trader Joe's frequently switches suppliers to find better pricing, which means they're constantly working with new facilities that may not meet their safety standards. The pressure to maintain product availability often overrides safety concerns. Third, the limited testing approach. Comprehensive testing is considered too expensive and time-consuming. Spot checks and visual inspections replace thorough safety protocols. This creates a system where contaminated products can easily slip through to store shelves. Fourth, the communication gap. When recalls do happen, Trader Joe's relies on quiet website notices rather than proactive customer communication. This leaves consumers unknowingly consuming dangerous products for weeks or months after problems are discovered. The most disturbing aspect is the pattern of ignoring warning signs. In case after case, Massachusetts is afdeldings. Trader Joe's received advance warning about supplier issues, but chose to continue relationships because changing suppliers would impact profit margins. Based on these patterns and insider information, here are the warning signs that should make you think twice before buying certain products. First, products with unusually low prices compared to name brand equivalents. Extreme cost-cutting often means corners are being cut somewhere in the supply chain. Second, items with recent supplier changes. If you notice that a Trader Joe's product you regularly buy suddenly tastes different or has different packaging details, it could indicate a switch to a cheaper, less reliable supplier. Third, seasonal or limited time products. These items often come from new or temporary suppliers that may not have established quality control relationships with Trader Joe's. The pressure to get these products to market quickly can override safety testing. Fourth, products with complex ingredient lists or allergen warnings. These items are more likely to have cross-contamination issues because they require more sophisticated manufacturing processes and stricter cleaning protocols. Here's your action plan for safer shopping. Before you shop, check the FDA recall database for recent Trader Joe's recalls. The company's recall notifications are often buried on their website and not prominently displayed in stores. Make this a weekly habit, especially if you have family members with food allergies. While you shop, inspect packaging carefully for any signs of damage, unusual odors, or foreign objects visible through transparent packaging. Pay special attention to dents in canned goods, as these can indicate compromised seals that allow contamination. Trust your instincts about expiration dates and product appearance. If something seems off about a product, the taste, texture, appearance, or smell, don't consume it. The unique flavors that Trader Joe's is known for shouldn't include the taste of metal, glass, or rocks. After you shop, register for recall notifications directly with the FDA rather than relying on Trader Joe's to contact you. Keep receipts for all purchases, especially refrigerated and frozen items. This documentation will be crucial if you need to return contaminated products or if you experience health issues. Consider diversifying your shopping routine. While Trader Joe's may be convenient and affordable, relying on a single retailer with a questionable safety record puts your family at unnecessary risk. Mix your shopping between different stores, especially for high-risk items like canned goods, dairy products, and items with complex ingredient lists. This isn't just about Trader Joe's. This is about what happens when we let marketing and branding override our common sense about food safety, when we assume that quirky names and hand-drawn labels mean better quality control. The truth is that Trader Joe's has built their brand on the illusion of small-batch, artisanal quality while operating with the same cost-cutting pressures as any major retailer. The difference is that their private label model gives them more direct responsibility for safety failures. Their business model depends on consumers trusting their brand enough to buy unfamiliar products without question. But this trust is being systematically betrayed by a focus on profit margins over safety protocols. The human cost of these failures extends beyond the immediate victims. Every contaminated product erodes consumer confidence in the entire food safety system. When respected brands like Trader Joe's cut corners, it makes all of us more vulnerable. The recall patterns of 2025 represent a turning point in how we think about food safety. The traditional model of trusting branded products from respected retailers is breaking down. Consumers need to become more active participants in their own safety. This means developing new habits around food purchasing and consumption. It means staying informed about recall patterns and safety issues. It means being willing to pay more for products from suppliers with proven safety records. Most importantly, it means recognizing that cute packaging and clever marketing are not substitutes for rigorous safety testing. The next time you're walking through those narrow aisles, past the hand-lettered signs and cleverly named products, remember this: every item you put in your cart is a choice. Choose wisely. Your family's health depends on it. If this video opened your eyes to the hidden dangers lurking behind Trader Joe's quirky facade, share it with someone you care about. These are the kinds of safety issues that mainstream media often ignores because they don't want to alienate advertisers. And if you want to stay informed about food safety issues that grocery stores don't want you to know about, hit that subscribe button. Remember, the truth isn't always as cute as the packaging suggests. But when it comes to your family's safety, the truth is all that matters. Thanks for watching, and stay safe out there.